Right, okay guys, so like I said to you on the last pickups video, I told you these would be coming thick and fast, and it's not because I've been spending loads of money, far from it. It's because obviously, as you guys know, I was out of commission for quite some time, and this was right back last August. So as a result, I'd bought quite a few bits and they were just sitting around. I was unable to do videos, unable to get to some of this stuff because it had been put away, and obviously I was injured. So it means that you're now getting quite a few pickups videos all in one go. So yeah, I did one only a couple of weeks ago. Here's another one. But anyway, let's get to it. Let's stop chatting and get showing. Right, here we go. We're going to start with a fairly big one. And you might be saying, is it a fairly big one? Well, yes, it is. Jelly Boy. Now, I don't know if you guys are aware, this isn't really a massively popular game, from what I can tell. In fact, when I mentioned it in one of the WhatsApp groups, a lot of people hadn't even heard of it. Now, this game I picked up for a stupidly cheap price, and it was from CEX, of all places. I saw it there, I believe it was something stupid, like £25, and I remember saying to people in the group, if there's only 3 of them, guys, grab one while you can, because I've seen this game going for £70 and upwards, car only, on eBay. Which means that, you know, the price they were selling it at was pretty good. So, of course, I bagged one. I don't know if anyone else did. I didn't hear any more. So, I can only assume that people didn't and maybe missed out. Last time I looked, they'd all gone. So, yeah, nice little result this. Other than the sticker across the Nintendo thing, which kind of annoys me. Other than that, it's perfect. But, yeah, very good game. And if you haven't played Jelly Boy, it's worth giving it a go. It's a platformer, but it's kind of done in a way, I'm trying to think of a game that's fairly similar. Sam's Journey, for example. When you play that game, you have to change into different versions of the character in order to do certain parts of the level. Jelly Boy's the same in the respect that you can, for example, if you need to break through a wall, you collect something that turns you into a hammer, and then you hammer your way through. I believe there's another part where you can collect something that turns you into a car, if I remember right, and you can drive along. You know, so there's different things you can collect that change you into different versions of the character. But like I say, if you've not played it, it's definitely worth giving it a go. It's a lot of fun. Even if you can't find it on cart, you know, download a ROM, emulate it if you can. It's a very good game. If you've got kids, they'll love it. They really will. One thing I will say is it's fairly difficult though, so if you have got very young kids, you know, expect a few tears when they die, because it will happen a lot. But anyway, that's Jelly Boy. Then we move on to a couple of other games from CEX. And these ones I actually went into our local store. I was actually heading to another shop, and I popped in here on the way. One of them is Paper Mario, and I really need to get that label off, actually. I forgot about that. As you can see, it's in very good condition. And there's the back of it, and all the gubbins are there as well, and that's for obviously the 3DS, and that was a tenner. I mean, general rule of thumb, to be honest, if you see anything that's Mario for a tenner, it's normally, you know, it's normally a pretty good buy, you know. I mean, don't get me wrong, like any other games, there are some stinkers, but not many. And then the other one I picked up was this one. I've wanted this for the Wii for quite some time. As you can see there, £8, and that is House of the Dead 2 and 3. I do like the House of the Dead games. Me and the boys, whenever we go into an arcade, if they've got House of the Dead, we are all over it. Obviously, in modern times, you've got your flat screens. You can't use a light gun like on the older games. So if there's something like this out on the Wii, it's a perfect game to pick up because, you know, you can play it. So whenever we see any type of light gun game that's on the Wii that you can use the remote for, we tend to grab it. So, and House of the Dead, like I say, we're big fans. We're all big fans. So yeah, can't wait to get going now, actually. I'm really looking forward to it. So yeah, that was £8 and the other one was 10. So as you can see, we're getting a bit of CEX in this video. Right, now we're going to move on to a different type of game. Now, this one's got a bit of a story to it. So Si put me onto this. Oh, bit of glare there. So, as you can see there, Mega Manic Collection. Actually, it actually says, Mega Manic Mulholland. I do apologise. But this is a collection. It's 4 games. Now, the story is basically months and months back, Cy Ginger Hippie Gaming, he covered a game called Forward to the Past, if I remember right. I'm sure that's what it's called. And pretty good looking game. And unfortunately, it was being sold by a company that, let's just say, their reputation is less than stellar. Quite often you order things and they don't turn up, or if they do turn up, they don't work. So it was a game I wanted, but I wasn't prepared to buy it from that company. So here's the interesting part. The people who actually created this game brought out a collection, and it's got that very game on it, as well as 3 others. And Cy put me onto it on Facebook, directly with the guy that did this game, him and his other friend. And it was going, I believe it was £12.50, I think this cost me. And it's for the ZX Spectrum, as you can see. I haven't played it yet, but I do intend to. Now, one of the things I really like, and I showed this on Micromaniac, so if you've seen that, you would have already seen me show the case and the tape. But it's a 2-tone tape. I mean, that's pretty cool, isn't it? You know? So, yeah, 2 games on each side of the tape. And yeah, £12.50. And it come with a nice little card. Sloney Soft, it says there. And then it says on the back, long live the Specky. And then there's their names. So, which I thought was really nice. Nice little touch. So yeah, really cool. Really happy with that. So at some point, yeah, I'll give that a go. Probably cover it in a video, because I like to cover homebrew. I like to do like separate videos for them sort of games. So at some point, we'll definitely be covering these. So that's that. Right, okay, so now we're getting on to some comics. So, some of these I've actually picked up in a shop I found recently. You might have seen some of these on our comic book stream that I did with Chef. I did a stream with him. We're going to be doing it monthly. It's going to switch between mine and Retro Chef's channel, but it's going to be all comic book related. So you might have seen some of these. These ones I know you haven't in particular right now, but... And that is Marvel Knights, and I'm sorry about the glare, but Ghost Rider. Do my best so that you can actually see it. It's got great artwork on this, which is the reason I picked these up. So that's number 1. Be very careful putting it down, because these ones are still open. I bagged and boarded them, but I haven't actually had a chance to read them yet, so I haven't sealed them yet. I mean, look at the artwork on this. Look at that. I mean, that's fantastic. You don't get artwork like this on comics now. In fact, I can't stand the new artwork. It's horrible. Don't like it at all. It's number 3. Again, look at that. I mean, it's really good. Got these for a really cheap price as well. Admittedly, like I say, they weren't bagged and boarded. I've done that. But I picked up all 4 of these, would you believe, for £4. And that's a bargain, right? Really nice, isn't it? So... there is 6 to that particular run, so I've got 2 more to track down, but don't worry, I will get them. Right, now these ones I know for a fact I definitely showed. Yeah, these ones I definitely showed on the comic book stream, but my webcam, because my decent HD camera broke, so I was using the one on the actual laptop, which is NAF. So if you did see them on there, you wouldn't have seen them very well. It wouldn't have done them justice. So, right, let's have a look here, because we don't want to start at the back, we want to start at the front, don't we? Oh, do you know what? Yeah, we'll pull them out from underneath. So, this is a very weird one, this, because it's a 6 comic run, but they've done it from 0. Don't ask me why. Normally they do 1 to 6. But yeah, so we've got Invasion. Now, this is the introduction of the Yuzon Vong. And if you've watched, like I say, the comic book stream, you would already know, you would have already heard me talk about this, but this is basically when an invading force called the Yuzon Vong basically set foot into the galaxy that our known expanded universe characters inhabit, and they start taking over. And eventually, because there's another couple of series of this, eventually obviously the Jedi and the Republic have to fight back against them. So, and as you can see, I mean, some great artwork on these. There really is. Like I already say, you don't get this artwork. And I mean, this is Dark Horse. Obviously, Star Wars now is done by Marvel because it's Disney rubbish. But, you know, look at that. I mean, look at the detail. You don't get that on comics now. Especially if it's a man, because let's be honest, you know, in this day and age, a lot of this stuff now hates men. It's all about women now. And you know, which isn't a problem, but if you did it, you have to do it in the right way. And you know my thoughts now, I'm not going to go into it and bore you with it, but you know, there are ways of making strong female characters, and the way they do it these days is not the way to do it. And then there's the last one in the run. Like I say, there is another 2 runs of Invasion. It's Invasion and Rescue, maybe Invasion Rescue, and then there's another one. I know there's another 2 runs. Right, now them ones I think I picked them up for like 35, I think. Which isn't bad. It probably sounds like a lot of money, but it really isn't, guys. It really isn't. And then we move on to these ones. These are some of my favourites that I've got recently. So Retro Chef put me onto these. Again, I showed these on the comic book stream, but again, you wouldn't have seen them in all their glory. Now these ones, I got a fantastic deal on these, because just number 1 of this comic can fetch the price I paid for all 6. I'll show you them first, and then I'll tell you. So there's number 1. I mean, look at the artwork, and as you can see, it's He-Man and Thundercats. Fantastic artwork, superb. That's number 1. Number 2. Now these came bagged and boarded already, which was a nice bonus. It saved me having to do it. There's not a lot of room here where I've got the bloody mic there and that. There's not a lot of room to move. It's number 3. I mean, look at that with Skeletor there. It just looks great. I mean, look at the definition on the muscle there, you know, on both these characters. It just looks great. Again, like I say, you just do not get this artwork now. This is back when comics were real good when it comes to artwork. Like now when you look at it, it looks almost computer generated. It just doesn't look like, it's not what I'd call art at all. This is art, you know. You know, this is what looks like somebody drew it, you know, as opposed to a computer doing it for you. Look at that. Superb. Right, so price. Okay. All 6 of those, £40. Now, like I say, I've seen number 1 on its own go for that, so I had a really good result of that. So I was really happy, and I'm a big fan of He-Man. Thundercats, I was a fan of, but I would say He-Man more so. And if you see my collectibles channel, you'll see for yourself, I've got a lot of Master of the Universe stuff. So yeah, it was a no-brainer. When Lee said, "Here, Lee, you need to get these, mate. You're a He-Man fan. You're going to love these." And that was it. I went and grabbed them the minute I got a chance. So yeah, good comics. I haven't had a chance to read it yet because I've been reading other stuff. But yes, I will get to it. And that noise you can hear is my dog, because as per usual, she's always going to bark in the background and be a general pain in the ass. But I'm not going to start this over. We're just going to ignore her. So right, now these ones I picked up. I showed these also on the stream, but don't worry, there are some that I didn't show. I picked these up in a local shop. I travelled into a place called the Movie Shack. Apparently it had been there for like a year, but it had recently moved, and where it's moved to is right in the middle of the town centre. So I thought, right, I've got to pay a trip there, and I went there a couple of weeks back and picked up, what, 3 comics maybe? Well, I went out there again with Connor, and I bought some more. So, and these ones I showed on the stream. So we've got a Transformers one here, and that's, I believe, an IDW, if I remember right. Nice artwork. It's a more modern one, early 2000s, I believe. Got a very old Hulk, which is around the Infinity Saga, and that's number 384. Look at that artwork. Got Abomination now. Predator number 2. Now this obviously was a Dark Horse era comic. Again, this is another one in there bringing out under Marvel. I hate to think what that's going to end up like, but this one's really good. And I've read all of these. So, I don't think I've read the Transformers. I'll tell a lie. I haven't read quite all of them, but I've read a good few of them. Primacy. I like the artwork. Looks very menacing looking. In fact, me and Lee had a little bit of a discussion about this on the stream. And talking of the stream, that's called Second Chance Comics, by the way, guys. So if you want to watch that stream, I've got a playlist for it on the channel, so you'll be able to find it. Now this one is an Image Comics, and this is Transformers and G.I. Joe. Now I remember I had the UK ones back in the day. These are a little bit later on, but I mean, look at the artwork there. It's really good. Great artwork. So yeah, there's that. You'll notice I haven't told you prices yet. I'll tell you that at the end. You probably, if you're eagle-eyed, you would have seen the stickers on them. So, and I made sure they're only on the bag. They're not on the comic. So we've got Spider-Man. Now this is like from a 6 comic run, this one. 320. So there's a couple I've got to get because I only could pick up 4 of that particular run. This one's 321. As you can see, these are old. These are, I believe, 80s if I remember right. So, you know, fairly old now. Then I've got 324. Got Sabretooth there, look. Yeah, in very good condition though. Very well looked after. And 325. So as you can see, I've got 2 out of that 6-part missing, so I'm gonna have to get them. And you got Red Skull there, see it? So yeah, I'll have to get the other 2, pick them up at some point to complete the set. And then I've got this one, which is a bit more random out of them. I love the older ones, and I saw these sitting in a box, and I thought, yeah, I'm having them. So I just picked them all out. Now I did buy a couple for Connor. I picked up, it was a Walking Dead comic, which I think was a Loot Crate special because it had Loot Crate written on the t-shirt of the character on the cover. And there was a Batman one as well, because like me, he likes his Batman. And that's a good segue, because that segues into our next ones. And do you know what? I didn't realise quite how many of these I'd got until I've started doing this, because there is a lot here. So, right, okay. Now this one's a 5 comic run. And these ones, I had to get these. I do like the crossover comics. And as you can tell, it is a Batman, because I said segue. This is a 5 comic run. This is very different, because this is Batman Unseen. Now this is against the Invisible Man, and as you can see, it's got that very like old sort of horror looking cover to it, you know, like you would have seen on the old movie posters at the cinema, you know. So that's number 1. And then we got number 2. I mean, look, it just looks great, doesn't it? Look at that. You can see the Invisible Man halfway changing there. Looks really good. I like some of the quips on the covers, like you won't believe your eyes and things like that, you know. There's another one. Look at that. You can see like the Invisible Man's got a rope or something. That's my finger in the way. You can see his gloves. He's got like something around Batman's neck there. Very good. Great artwork. This one I particularly like, because I always like Batman with the longer ears on the cowl. I thought he looked more menacing. So I'm a big fan of that. Look at that. He just caught him with the batarang. And then we've got this one. And this one I like, because you've even got like a dinosaur in the background. There's a lot going on in this one. And it looks like Batman's actually taking the invisibility serum. So, yeah, very nice. I forget how much I paid for these. I know I got them for a very good price. And the reason I bought these, other than the fact that I'm a massive Batman fan, was because I watch a couple of other channels, Hill vs Babyface and Nerdrotic, and they do a stream together called The Real BBC, where they generally tend to talk about movies, TV, also comics, while they're bagging and boarding their comics. And one of the ones, someone said, oh, what would you suggest as a good crossover? And one of them said Batman Unseen. And I was like, right, let's have a look at that. And when I saw the covers, I was like, right, I'm getting them. It was right down my street. So, and then, yeah, and then there's these ones. Now, I picked these ones up the first time I went there, because as I said, this was the second time I went with Connor when I got the other lot. This was the first time I went to the movie shack. And, oh yeah, and I forgot to tell you, before I did the Batman Unseen, I don't think I told you the price of the other comics, did I? They were £3 each from the movie shack. So now we get onto the stuff. Like I said, this is the first time I went there. I picked up number 1 Batman Black and White. Now basically this is a collection of several different stories, all different artwork styles. Some of them are like a pencil sketch, some are like inked like this, but it's all black and white. I mean, look at the skeletons there. It's interesting. One of the stories that I looked at is that every time you see Batman, and it's almost like he's seeing himself. He's seeing himself as like a zombie looking Batman, but everyone else is seeing him as normal. And it turns out in the end, anyway, at the end of this short story, he wakes up. He's having a nightmare, which I thought was pretty cool. So, mild spoilers there, but there's several stories in there. If you see this, pick it up. Now, I got this for £4. The unfortunate thing is that label is directly on the comic, which I'm not a fan of. And there is a slight stain there you might notice as well. So yeah, bit unfortunate, but again, £4, good price. You can't grumble. Now this one is interesting. Now I picked this up for £4 as well, but these are all in one bag. I've separated them now, but it's 3 out of a 4 comic run of The Punisher, and this is War of the Realms. Again, I've not sealed these because I haven't read them yet, but that's number 1. Pretty cool artwork. I think this is a more recent run, this, but it's Punisher. You know, I do like the Punisher, and the funny thing is that the woke rubbish these days hate the Punisher, which gives me even more reason to like it, if I'm honest. I like to go against the grain. So that's number 2, I believe. No, that's number 3. Sorry, that's number 3. Get them in orderly, and then that's number 2. So I've still got 1 to get, but yeah, I got all 3 of them in one bag for £4. I mean, that's really good, isn't it? So yeah, so that's all my comic books, and then we'll get on to some of the discs I picked up, because as you guys know, I've been telling you, I'm replacing all my DVDs with Blu-rays when I see them, and in most cases I'm picking them up like charity shops and that, because they're very cheap. You can pick them up cheap. So first off, Social Network, £1. Expendables, £1. Avatar. I'm going to stop saying the price because they're all the same. Got all the others on Blu-ray. I hadn't picked up this one yet, so now we've got this one as well. I believe now we've got all the Harry Potters on Blu-ray. We did have a DVD box set. Then we got Taken 2, and I believe that is the extended cut, which is the one I wanted. And then the same with the Blu-ray, because I had the extended cuts on DVD. So yeah, not bad for £1 each. And this is what it is. I mean, at the end of the day, right, I could buy these new, but some of these things, you know, like, they'll only end up in landfill, you know. And if you can pick them up for £1, not only are you getting a good bargain, but you're also kind of doing your bit for the planet at the same time. You know, you are really, aren't you? Because these things will only end up in a landfill. So yeah, so as a result, this is what I'm doing. Now, some of you might be saying, well, why are you not buying them on 4K? Well, there's a reason for that, because a lot of the 4K films, especially if they're old ones now, they mess with them. If there's something in there that's not particularly politically correct these days, they'll change it. And I don't like that. I like films to be the way they were intended. You know, the way I see it is if I buy a film, I want to see it the way the original director envisioned it, not the way some political moron has edited it. That's not what I want. So yeah, so at the moment, I buy a lot of the ones that come out on Blu-ray on Blu-ray. It's only if it's a new film I'd maybe buy it on 4K, and that's because, let's be honest, it'll be PC to start with. But yeah, there's not much modern stuff I like anyway, because it's all woke rubbish. So yeah, so that's all of them. And that's the end of our pickups, guys. Now, like I say, there is more stuff, but I thought break it up into a few videos, Lee, otherwise you're going to be doing an hour pickups video. So yeah, there will be another pickups video maybe in a couple of weeks, but that's the end of this one. I hope you've enjoyed the video, guys. I know there's a lot of different stuff in there, and this time round, maybe a few less games than there are comics. But like I said, I was out of commission for a long time. I did a lot of reading, and I didn't do much playing. So anyway, until next time, take care, stay safe. Nerdy Geezer out.